Hey, it's Dave. Welcome back to my channel. So today you're probably thinking to yourself, why the hell is he opening up with blues? Well, yesterday I went to the Marshfield Fair, and they have a big blues fest going on there, and there was a bunch of bands. So I get there, and my guitar tech, who I just reminded myself I have to see this week. Hopefully, I'll try to get there tomorrow. I just have to have him fix in my guitar where my strap button goes. It's been stripped, so I need him to plug it and then reinsert the guitar strap button. Anyways, I ran into Jim Casey, who I saw at the Blues Fest, who played early, too early for me to wake up to go. And he said, you got to watch this guy Laith. He's coming on, and he'll be on at some point during the day. And he watched a bunch of videos, and he thought he was good. So I said, okay, I was there because Drummer Boy Cam, who I mentor, he's on YouTube as Drummer Boy 135. He was playing. He was going to sit in with a band called Basic Black, I think the name of the band was. And so they were going to play. They were going to do a few songs, so I was going to wait for him. Anyways, I just want to say I was completely blown away by this guy. So much so that while he's playing, I went right over to the table where they were selling merch, and I bought his CD. Let's see if I can get this thing now. Here we go. His name is Laith Al-Saadi. The album is called Real, and it's really like an EP. And I really recommend you look up some of his videos on YouTube. Apparently he was on The Voice. So let me explain why I really love this guy's playing and everything else. His singing is fantastic. He's a great singer, which is why he was on The Voice. But he's also a great player. He doesn't play just typical stuff. He's all over the table with country. He's doing, there's just so much going on. In fact, he says, the Allman Brothers were a big influence in the Beatles. And you can hear his love for music in the middle of songs he played on Whipping Post. And towards the end, he segmented into Crazy on You by heart to get back into the vocal, which I thought was real clever. It was fun. Everyone had a fun time with it. He was throwing in other songs in the middle of long solos, and the solos weren't boring. It was like I was really into everything this guy was playing. I thought every lick he played was interesting. I mean, it's like the guy never makes a mistake. His smile and his attitude when he's playing is infectious. You just want to watch this guy play. I think, and this is just my opinion, that this guy could be a huge, huge star, even, looking like a young Lee Sklar. The thing with him is I believe that he needs a song to the caliber of something like Gravity or Waiting for the World to Change, something like, and I'm not a huge John Mayer fan, but I understand when you hear those songs, it's like, wow, they're moving, they have that soulful thing, and that's what ties him into the mainstream. He gets one tied in a mainstream hit, and I honestly believe that that this guy's going to be a star. His playing, it's like, when I hear people talk about like Clapton, and I've seen Clapton a bunch of times, and I like the songs a lot, but as far as a player goes, I find him to be like, to me, he just bores me, and that's okay. It's not my thing. This guy, I just think, is like, his tone was clean. In fact, he you want to talk about having gear acquisition syndrome. I was climbing up by the stage on the side where my photographer buddy was over there taking pictures, and he let me slide in there. And I wanted to see what was on his board. And of course, he had a Prince of Tone, which I went off on. I don't like the King of Tone, but it wasn't on. He was using, when I went to go see what he was using a Tech 21 XXL pedal. So, of course, I went on Reverb today and bought one. I mean, it's like, they were like $60. Worth it if that's the tone that came out of it. And now where I can use it. But what a sound he had. And he was playing into two vibroverbs. It was just great. I recommend that you check him out. And I'll post the album right there as well as his name here. yeah, he was just great. I can't say enough about it. I really didn't have much to say today. I didn't know what I wanted to talk about. I did want to make a video to touch base. I had a busy weekend. We played a house party FM station. That was like a 6-hour ordeal, but they fed us lobsters and everything else. We were treated unbelievably great. Friday we had a killer gig in Quincy, Mass. And yeah, and then Sunday I went down to the fair and caught this guy, and I was like, wow, it's nice to hear somebody that's, and I wouldn't necessarily, because I wouldn't necessarily call him all blues. I mean, he does like Ophelia as a cover he does on this particular one, and I hear a lot of Tom Waits in some of the songs. It kind of reminds me of like the Green Grass, whatever that, I think that's what the name of the song by Tom Waits was. But yeah, I mean, it's like very good stuff. And I also notice I'm getting a lot more followers, subscribers on here on YouTube, and I really appreciate that. I'm going to try to put up some more stuff and some lesson stuff, and I mean, I hope you also enjoy the ranting and raving that I do, because I'm a lunatic when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I love talking music. But I really, really highly recommend going on YouTube and checking this guy out. I was really impressed. Just a lot with the musicality with what he was playing. You can see that he's a lover of music. Like, the guy gets it. And it's not often that I see that, especially when I go to these blues fests and I feel like every one of these guys is like, it's phoning it in for me. I just feel like it's uninspired blues, and I just don't dig it. I've constantly said I do not like blues. It's not my thing. This guy, to me, it's not like typical blues. This is a guy I would go pay money to go see. I thought it was very, very good. I was thoroughly entertained by it. And to see that a new guitar player is out around playing that then can make me sit there and rethink about some things that he was doing. He does this really cool thing where he plays like a lick and then he repeats it and speeds it up and speeds it up. But it's not like this typical blues lick. It's like a real, you could tell he was a rock player. This is a guy bringing a lot back from the table. I see a lot of guys who are rock players and then they come back to blues, and then it's like, well, really, you were always a blues player. There's someone that said to me, oh, well, so-and-so does. I'm like, no, they were always a blues player that was just playing rock. This guy, you could tell, is a real rock player that's coming back to play blues, and he's bringing a lot back with him. There's a lot of there's a lot of great playing going on here. So like I said, I highly recommend him. Check him out. And I'm going to be going over some chords soon. I think I'm going to go over the song Josie by Steely Dan. There's some really interesting chords, as it's like almost like a simple 12-bar. Well, not a simple, more like a swampy blues thing, but played with these jazz chords, and I'm going to explain to you how he comes up with those, and how you can do it into your playing too, if that's the kind of style that you like. Other than that, I have a student today, and then my Wednesday student canceled, so I'll be moving stuff around. I'll be shooting a lot more this week. That'll be good. And then as of right now, I have Friday off, which I don't know what I'm going to do. If I'm going to go see a band or if I'm actually going to get booked for that, we'll see. And then Saturday, I play my usual first Saturday of the month gig in East Bridgewater. But after that, anyways, I just wanted you to check him out. It's going to be a good week. I'll get a bunch of videos up. Anyways, I'm going to take off. Very good.
You're 100% right in what you were stating, and I agree with everything you said.